you said that race and ethnicity wasn't a thing until the 1600.
Ethnicity
Maybe
was a thing, not race.
which one wasn't?
Race was not a thing before the 1600s. Ethnicity was.
Well, don't
If
the cultures that were the ethnic cultures were also similar physically in their characteristics?
What? I don't know why, but my sound kind of like went dimmer. I'm gonna restart the app real quick. 1 second.
Right.
Oh, this is gonna be a good night. I can tell already.
Why?
Okay, can you talk again? I don't know if that's better. Maybe.
the thing is,
Ew.
Not really. But
maybe
whatever.
the reason race wasn't a thing is because race was the same as ethnicity.
Yeah.
Because
No, race
right
is different than ethnicity.
yes, but just hear me out. Like right now, you can have people from the same ethnicity but different race, right?
Yeah, right.
Say someone is white and someone is black, that's different race. But if they share the same culture, they are from the same ethnicity.
Right. You can. I guess if you're gonna grant that race is real, then yeah, you can be within the same race and be in a different ethnicity. Yeah.
All right. Now, before the 1600, there was no people didn't travel as much, so people who look the same share also
No.
the same.
Oh no. That's a very brutish way of thinking about it.
Why?
Do you believe
You
that
have people that are white that knew about people that were black.
What?
It's not
What did you
like
say?
black people didn't know who white people were and white people didn't know who black people were. Like there's different skin colors of people and people knew that.
Yeah, but they didn't share the same thing. What is it called? Ethnicity.
Right, they didn't share the same ethnicity, right? But you're saying that because people weren't once people started traveling around, then race became a thing. Well, no.
No, it's not then it became a thing. Then it's separated from ethnicity.
Can you repeat that?
It's not then that it became a thing, but after people started traveling, it's detached itself from ethnicity.
It detached
Have you
itself
guys seen
from.
Get Out?
Maybe I should restart my phone because you guys are really quiet now. I don't know why. I'm gonna restart my phone.
All right.
I see what you're saying, casual.
Yeah, because there always has been, I guess, I suppose, always has been some way to differentiate between people.
Yeah, and I think throughout history, different cultures, there were a lot of wars over culture and territory. And if the winning group won, then they would assimilate those people into their own culture. I think that's what he means by ethnicity.
Oh shit, there's a show tonight. Maybe I'll go. I have an exam at 9 in the morning.
Probably shouldn't go.
Oh well, I don't really care about my exam.
Group 1 for 2017. Oh my gosh, Steven. God.
I'm switching programs anyway, so this exam is really not that whatever. Honestly, it's an accounting exam, and I haven't really been to class at all. But for some reason, I feel like I could do it. I am blindly optimistic.
Are you pretty good at math?
Yeah.
If you're good at math,
But,
and you understand the formulas, you should be okay.
But it's like you need to know how to. It's not math. It's stupid. Like people think accounting's math. It's really, really not. It's just being like, this number goes in this category, and this number goes in this category, and then this number is going to go down a certain amount each year. That's basically what accounting is so far.
I had to do accounting a
Second year
little bit, and it was so boring.
second year accounting, and that's what we've been doing.
Is that Is that what you're majoring in?
No. Well, I was majoring in business, but I'm changing my major to math.
That's cool.
Hmm.
I thought about changing my major to math too, but there's really like our teachers here get paid shit. Even if you have a PhD, I mean, you can go get like a 2-year medical technician, something like, and make more than PhDs in a lot of places. It's kind of sad. Like it makes me like
Yeah, I've
intrinsic-
seen that somewhere. Like someone, yeah, I don't remember. It was some girl who was a prof at some like college, and she was making less than something else, or like less than a high school teacher or something. And it was
Yeah.
fucked. Profs here make like $100,000 a year.
Wow, that's awesome.
I mean, some profs can make more than that. But
I know a girl who is a biology PhD. She's a professor. I think she's making like 60 or something like that.
only 60 grand? No wonder
Yeah, but she-
like the education system in the US is fucked. Like, because like
Yeah,
in Canada, all the universities are like the same. Like you'll get like people don't look at the university you went to for your undergrad. Like they don't care. Like if you apply to a job, it's like all the same.
yeah.
Whereas like in the US, like the school that you go to matters, right?
To an extent, I'd say.
But like if you go to an Ivy League, they're like, oh shit.
Middle school, yeah.
I think probably experience helps out a lot too.
Yeah, of course, but like basically you have like a one-way ticket into wherever you want to go if you like graduated from Harvard, right?
Oh yeah.
Doing
Or am I?
Shit, Kato.
Are you
At least
taking?
mute your microphone. I want to hear your shit hit the water.
It's an oddly specific fetish.
I said I do not want to do that.
Can you smear it on your chest?
Kato, fucking go away, please.
What?
Yeah, man,
You're
come on.
chewing tobacco while you're taking a shit on camera. I actually hate you.
Yeah, it's nice, man. Ugh. There you go.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Hey, what? You're shitty.
Now I'm gonna hear things and I'm gonna be like, is that Kato shit? I don't know.
I already dropped the main one, so it's not. We're good.
The main
You're
one?
just gonna hear me wipe.
Pardon?
Yes, yes.
You oh my god.
I might get like another droplet, but that's about it. Oh, there it goes.
A droplet? Can we please stop fucking talking about this?
Did you get the nugget out, bro?
Yeah, the nugget. I got the last nugget there, I think.
The nugget's been dropped. It's important.
That's where it's at.
The nug.
I'm disturbed a little bit, to be honest.
You have the crown, you know. But you don't wanna. Anyways, I had a question for you, Liz.
Mm,
TI suggestive, right?
I'm what?
TI suggestive.
Yeah.
So when you come here, do you like find lots of TI or do you enjoy time here?
No.
Or do you find
Do I enjoy my time here? Honestly, when there's a lot of people, not really. I usually peace out.
yeah, so like you don't find TI here?
Sometimes maybe not the stuff that I want. Like it's all any shit.
Most of the time it's any, yeah.
Like I don't know, like I like precise TI, like very
GA stuff,
no.
it's something GI, I don't know.
I can send you a bunch of math formulas.
I think like discussing something and staying on topic, something like that.
That's not necessarily TI. And I don't like that really. I don't
Yes.
like having a topic and staying on it for too long. The people in here I find discuss something for way too long and I get really bored by it.
Yeah, but what if you're discussing it in a TI way?
Like what?
Well,
Or how?
like building it or trying to prove it right or wrong.
Maybe I'd like that more. But mostly people just yell at each other here when they're discussing things. It makes me really uncomfortable, so I just leave. Like I just get angry mostly.
I like conflict.
Casual, I'm pretty sure Kato's in SLE, but he won't admit it.
It could be SEE.
I considered it, but he seems to have beta values.
All right.
If you want to see proof, go to the raw room.
What do you guys think happens when we die?
I don't want to talk about this because I have like actual serious views on this, and I don't want to be ridiculed for them.
Are you a Scientologist or something?
No,
Then you're not gonna be ridiculed.
no, I don't want to.
Better.
Damn.
Not really.
No,
shit,
now you're
she's a
making me
Mormon.
interested.
What?
Said, oh shit, she's a Mormon.
Nah.
So what are you?
Damn, why'd you pick me?
You don't need to know.
We don't need to know, but it'll be nice.
No.
Power
Because the
How-
things that I believe in, I don't know if I can prove, and I just don't want to get in a conversation with people who are like, you need proof in your beliefs.
No,
Well, of
but-
course you can't prove it. That's the whole point. You can't prove anything about that.
yeah, you can't prove anything.
Oh, I'm looking here now too.
It's all beliefs.
He's busy, so it's fine.
You can't prove, that there isn't any of that. Can't prove there is. As long as people don't get butt hurt, I don't think it's a big deal.
I am somewhat spiritual. I'm not like a religious person, but I believe in souls and I believe in reincarnation. So yeah.
Hey, Mormons are fun. I like Mormons. They're cool. They're like the nicest people.
She's an Amish, I think.
You're Amish? What? I was way.
Yeah, Liz in Amish. She just
Why?
she comes here.
See, there you go.
Yeah,
like-
Caroline.
Mormons
Yeah.
get like a bad rap for some reason, but they're like the nicest people I've ever met.
Okay, it was like full for a while, and then now it's not. So
I don't want to talk about
my sound is still screwed up, but well, I guess.
My neighbor is mostly blind, and she has this daughter who's 16. And I had a bunch of clothes, like really nice clothes that my sister gave me. It was like Nike and Victoria's Secret. And I gave it to her daughter, and she came over to tell me that she loved them. And she brought me a bunch of bananas. I don't
Are you
know.
guys talking about the ethnicity thing or no?
Yeah, you can.
So what was the last thing that was said? I don't remember.
the last thing was that we didn't buy the fact that it didn't exist before the 1600s.
Okay. I'm the only one talking now.
Okay, well, I mean,
I agree
no
with
way
you.
that-
I think that race is a fabricated concept, yeah. But I don't think that changes the fact that people that are different in appearance judge each other poorly.
in the sense that they're considered an other, if that's poorly. We have to define what doing so would mean. Like, what does it mean to treat someone poorly because of what they look like? Would that mean that you just consider them another like type of person, or what?
Well, I don't
I
know.
think it started,
What?
I think it's caused wars.
Because we consider people other than us? Sure.
Maybe not in the modern day, but in the past, yeah.
I mean, certainly that's applicable to all time periods, including now.
Yeah, think about what's going on in our society today.
What's going
Violence
on?
against different religious groups. I mean,
Yeah, but I
I'm
can say if it's warranted or not, and sometimes it
I'm
is.
not saying that any of us involve ourselves in those kinds of things, but I think it's pretty obvious that other people judge people based on their appearance or their race, even if it isn't actually a real thing. I don't think that negates that it happens.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say they
Are you
think to
copying
be
me?
biologically superior. In the very true sense of the word.
I fucking hate you.
Ain't nothing like a white Christian baby.
I don't think very many people are actually think they're biologically or genetically superior.
Is your name from the Sumerians? Liz,
What?
is your name from the Sumerians?
Yeah. Yeet.
I think it's interesting that racism is like the ultimate boogeyman, the ultimate thing you can be accused of. It's like the worst possible thing to be accused of, and yet people can hate each other for any other reason, and no one thinks it's any worse. If I up and decided that I hated everybody that liked chocolate ice cream, and I fucking hated them, and I treated them like shit, people would think I was a dick and I was weird, but they wouldn't think nearly as badly of me as they would if it was just a race thing.
I would say you were a dick and you were weird.
All right.
I'm just kidding. Do you guys remember that guy that came in here? Probably y'all weren't here yet, but there was a guy that we typed one time, and he was like hardcore racist against black people. And one of the questions we asked were like, what would he do to like make the world a better place? And he said, exterminate the entire race.
Like he was probably a troll.
No, dude, he was like redneck country. I mean, I don't want to like place
Oh,
that.
and all rednecks are fucking racist. Man.
After I said that, I was like, fuck.
Like,
Hey, I'm from Oklahoma.
The idea of calling somebody a racist makes you a racist because you're differentiating people based upon race. So if you're going to use like a very loose term of what a racist means, that means you're a racist if you're calling somebody that.
All right, my brain did not follow that.
I get it.
He was truly racist.
If you're calling somebody a racist, you're differentiating people and agreeing with the concept that people can be differentiated based upon race, which makes you a racist.
Just acknowledging that there's a difference.
No, if you call someone racist, you don't separate
You're
yourself from them.
granting them that race exists. You're granting them all of that. So you're also a racist too.
No.
Oh my god.
Why are you here with a crown?
Who? Me?
I'm just talking to everyone.
I'd ask that too.
I'm just talking to everyone, Taylor.
I'm just talking to you now. Hi.
I was thinking about something and wanted to come in and talk to everyone about it.
What did you want to talk about?
She's talking. You like directly talking to her, interrupt conversation. Just let her chill, man.
Shut the fuck up.
Why are you being so rude? There's really no point. She's fine.
Go be an ENFJ somewhere else.
No, you're just
go be
causing
an ENFJ
conflict for
somewhere
no
else. We don't like your
reason.
kind around here, boy. You just got to
You don't understand reasons. That's the problem.
No, I do. You're just being a douche for like absolutely unnecessary reasons, I guess.
Which one are you, Liz? You must be the blankie. Which blankie?
No.
Type something.
Blanky's not how smart.
Liz is the
I
Sumerian
don't need to
goddess.
type anything. He's trying to figure out who I was before, and he had no idea when I was typing.
I think she left.
If I told you that I was a black person, would you think that's true?
If I see you or without seeing you? What do you mean?
I'm black.
If
Right here. I'm African.
You're a Uyghur.
There's a difference between saying you're black and you're African, but
There's a huge difference.
I'm black.
Hi, Courtney.
Eric said I could come back, Taylor.
I know. He also said he wasn't going to save you.
Do what?
If you're gonna say that I can't say that I'm black, I mean you're racist because you're saying that you agree with these so-called, groups that break people into based on characteristics. You're a racist.
you realize there's literally a reason, like, there's, like, actual, by acknowledging different categories of people doesn't mean that there's, I don't understand how this is racist.
It's just a way to end the conversation.
I think what he means, if you acknowledge that there are races, like you're accepting the premises on
Just
which
because you
the
accept that there are
racism is
races
formed.
doesn't mean that you are saying that one race is above another.
Yeah.
So you want to go with a more harsh definition, which is what I said earlier, which
Yeah.
is someone thinks they're genetically and biologically superior to another person, and I don't think there's a lot of those people.
There's not.
I feel like the way that people
Okay,
act
so
sometimes.
now we agree with my position. It's not a lot of races.
But a lot of
I
a lot
don't
of
agree with that
people
position.
Racists, actually.
So can I be black?
No, but because a lot of nationalist groups that you would call racist are actually they think more about cultural superiority.
Then it's not
just
racist.
about race.
I think race is a thing, but it's not a very strong. I don't know. It doesn't mean much objectively, but it is a thing.
Well, nationalist groups are different because they're arguing off of either a nationality or an ethnicity, not a race.
Yeah, but you would call that people racist, and they focus a lot
Okay, what's
more.
the
Their
difference?
arguments are pro culture always,
What's the difference
because
between
that's the thing you
We're
can't.
not talking about culture. We're talking about race.
What's the difference between race and ethnicity?
Ethnicity has to do with culture and differentiating characteristics between people, which differentiates this group from that group. It's like a self-identity thing.
See, to me, that's weird because when I say I'm this ethnicity, black, that doesn't mean everybody I say that to will think
There's no
my skin
ethnicity
color
called
is
black.
I'm aware of that, but what I'm saying is, in the way people use the word now, the overwhelming majority use it that way.
Well,
I don't see the
Well,
point in making that distinction anymore because no one's going to get what you're saying. Not the way you
True,
mean
but-
it.
True, but most
Right.
people
They
even
don't
know their
understand the
ethnicity.
historical context of what those words mean.
Yeah,
I would
some people
agree.
don't even know what their ethnicity is. They just know that okay, my mom had dark skin, my dad had dark skin, I'm black, but they don't know that they're from what part of Africa or what part of this and that. And there is some culture to it. So if you're born in freaking
There's no
southern
culture
freaking,
associated with race.
well, I mean, if you're freaking from like Louisiana and you're black and there is a southern like black culture. You gotta acknowledge that. I'm not saying
Okay, that has nothing to do with your race. Nothing at all.
I'm not saying it should be used to make like any like categorical like big decisions, but there is like I don't
You're
like racism,
categorizing people now based upon culture, which is totally different.
Okay. I have brown skin. If I say I'm brown, am I wrong? I do have brown skin. I'm not saying you need to do anything with that. It's just okay, identify with it. There's no other like it's just an answer to a question. Coda, what's your race? And I don't know. I just say brown, and everyone agrees that brown is a race for some reason. That's I get it. It's quasi. It's not really real, but it is it is across the board. People agree on it. You know what I mean?
It's not grounded in or genetically related people outside my own so-called race and within it. So yeah, you're brown, and I'm tan or whatever. But for some reason they're gonna call me white.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not white.
Well, what are you?
I'm tan.
What's your ethnicity?
What's my ethnicity?
Yeah.
I'm Hungarian and Russian.
Okay. And instead of saying
That
okay, so
doesn't mean I'm white. That's an ethnicity is different than saying that I'm white. Well, I'm not white. I'm tan.
You're making it bigger than what it is. You're trying to make it a very like moral, ethical thing. It's not. If I see a dude, right, and I don't know anything about him, and I say, and I'm in a city with like primarily a bunch of people who are dark skinned black, right, and I say, yeah, see that go. They're like, okay, I tell a story. There's the guy, and this and that, and he was a white guy. That's just something. That's a descriptive term. If I say, "Oh, it was a white guy," that gives you more information than just saying a guy. It doesn't.
Sure, we can describe people.
I don't know
People
you're
look
Hungarian,
different.
freaking whatever. I don't know you're Hungarian and whatever. It's just it's a very broad category I can put you in, so other people can.
Yeah, we
get
can
more
describe people
information.
physically. I look different than another person, sure.
Yeah,
Mark, I don't
that's
think
all. That's
you're
all I'm
arguing the
trying to
right
say.
point.
I'm not
I've gone
arguing
through
anything
all the
moral.
points.
I'm not
I mean-
arguing anything moral or ethical. I'm just saying it's a broad category that people do use, and it does.
Race
have some
doesn't exist.
practicality.
You're
Okay,
arguing.
it doesn't have
You're arguing it based on color.
What?
Color.
I can't hear anything. My sound is really low.
You're arguing it based on color as a not accurate descriptive property.
Well,
Which
you
is-
can use color as a descriptive property. I never said you couldn't. Doesn't
said
mean that's a race.
But for all intents and purposes, it is. Effectively, it is.
Yes. It
Okay,
does
so am
have
I a different
practical
race
use.
because I have a certain color hair now?
No, but it does have practical uses. It is.
What about my eye color? What
If
about
I
my
say
toe
If
length?
I say you're,
What do you
if I
call-
say you're a ginger,
Then
if I
give
say
us
you're
a
a
better
ginger,
term. What's a better term?
I don't identify with it, so how can you call me and put me in that group?
Okay,
it doesn't
but
matter
there
if you
is a
identify with
thing
it.
that our society, or whatever, people have divided basically into African descent, European descent, South Asian descent, Americas. How would you describe them then, in a more accurate term?
How would
You
I
can't-
describe them more accurately?
You can't deny the fact that that is a thing.
If I
Ethnicity's a thing.
Taylor, are you gonna get offended if I don't know your name? I don't know anything about you, but if I was describing something and I said, "Yeah, there's this white guy with a gray hat, sitting on his porch, sitting on his chair," what is wrong with that? It's a description. That's all it is. There's nothing. You are a white-skinned dude, a white-skinned male with a gray hat on. That's all.
Well,
it is.
Mexican's different. Mexican's an ethnicity. Mexican's a thing. I can say somebody's Mexican.
Okay, I don't know if
Okay, but we need to talk about white people and black people and yellow people and brown people. How would you describe them?
We can describe them based upon that, sure. They're
Okay,
light
so
skinned.
okay,
They're dark
look
skinned.
at
That
me. What
doesn't
am I?
mean they're a race.
Okay, so what am I? Look at my skin. Look at me. It's pretty hard to figure me out. So people are like, "Oh, you're black." Sometimes, what do you think I am? What's if you don't know a damn thing about Kodo and you see me on the street and you want to describe me to a friend because you have a story to tell? What do you say? You say, "I saw this guy."
I mean, you're brown.
Hispanic looking.
Okay, that's true. That's true. It's descriptive.
Yeah, that
property.
doesn't mean
That's all it is.
you're like a brown race. There's no like, that's not even an accepted race category. Like, what is that?
You're arguing semantics instead of the reasonability of the claim. Now, I agree probably with your ultimate objective regarding whatever it is. I probably agree.
This is the thing, but race is not.
Okay, but since there's a lot of fucking
And I can describe based upon physical characteristics. That's what we're arguing about. Can I describe somebody based upon physical characteristics? And I'm saying, yeah.
Ooh, that's all I'm saying. That's all. It's just a physical descriptor, pretty much.
Okay, so we can agree that it's not a perfect handle, but it kind of works for general purposes.
Yes.
The categories that are made up in the 1600s and 1700s are not legitimate, and they're socially constructed.
That's
I can socially construct any sort of group of people and put them into such so and so category.
But that doesn't mean that you can undo society.
That
So
does mean
if-
what?
With society about social issues, you have to not demand construction and conformity to your new ideals. By just this is what Eric does a lot that I don't think is effective, is just starts doing shit the way he thinks it should be and assumes that everyone else will fall in line.
Yeah, that's what you should do. We shouldn't talk about races anymore because it doesn't exist. Talk about humans. We can do
We should
that. Talk about Americans. We can do that. We can talk about,
We should talk about how it's being used in a problematic
It's the
way.
same
About
exact.
how calling someone racist is basically telling them that they can't respond now.
It is another construct as well. I mean, America is another social construct. It's all social construct. It's all something that we all agree on. There's a metaphysical border that constitutes what an American is. It's not real. You go into space, there's no freaking border really between Canada and Mexico, but we all know
I'm having like,
Americans are
I don't know why
Americans.
my sound went out, but like you guys are so quiet. That sucks.
A
But
lot
the
of things
point
are
about
social.
if someone was talking about the point of racism being used to describe not racism, that's for sure a thing that should be talked about because it is a problem. And if we don't talk about it,
Racism's
most
a
people
problem?
know claiming that somebody is racist when they're not is a problem. But in the
Yeah, because there's not very many true so-called racists.
there's not.
Thinking I'm biologically and genetically superior to somebody, there's not very many of those people. That's why I said, if I said I was black, would you grant that? And you're saying no. Well, that's racist, according to your definition of what
Yeah,
racism
racist.
is.
According
It's
to
not racist because you don't have any descriptive property. You probably don't have much African descent to constitute being black. You don't have dark skin. Your heritage probably does not derive from Africa or the Caribbean or any places similar to that. So it's a broad box. It is not that big of a deal. Race isn't that big of a deal, but you can use it as a description. I'm not saying people go way too far with it. Yeah, you're right. It should not be as big as a deal, but it does have some practical uses, and you can't deny that.
What use does it have?
Like I said, just a broad category.
When I'm describing a suspect that's running away, sure, I can describe him based upon physical characteristics. I'm not going to say he's.
There is a group of black guys over there, and they're all dark skinned, and they all look African. They all have the script, they look African. They all freaking are black.
Okay, African, sure.
What is wrong with that? There's a group of black.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That is
race
real.
is not. It's not an accurate term, but when you describe someone in that way, it facilitates communication.
Sure. And I can say somebody's African, somebody's from their ancestry's from Europe.
That's
not
saying that a black man is African is more dishonest than saying that he's black.
Saying he's African is more dishonest than saying he's black?
If he hasn't ever been to Africa, yeah.
Okay. He's dark skinned.
That works too. But it's easier to just say black.
It's for the sake of fluidity.
I'm not saying he's part of a black race, though. I did not make that claim. By saying he's dark-skinned does not mean I'm putting him in a category called black people.
Okay,
That's fine.
so
But it's just another descriptor.
I don't
I'm
understand
not
what you're.
putting them in a category, though. I'm describing that individual.
You're describing a characteristic about him. Now, we all know that when somebody says they're black, that we mean African American or whatever you want to call it. But what we don't know is we don't know the name of every tribe in Africa or every country in Europe. And we certainly don't have time to go, the suspect was wearing a black shirt. He is German, Czech, bit of Irish, Scottish last name.
Yeah, he's light-skinned. That doesn't mean I'm putting him in a category of white race.
You're just making communication more difficult. Now, I don't know why I still don't know why you're resisting that as a tool for communication, but the way that race is applied is absurd at this point, and it doesn't describe racism anymore.
Yes, that's what we agree with you on that.
Race
aspect,
doesn't
but
mean anything.
You're going way down the rabbit hole. We understand that objectively there is
Doesn't
no
mean
real-
anything.
Yes, objectively
You
speaking,
can't
but it's still
force that on other people, though. People, when you talk to people, it means something. So your disagreement with the technical accuracy of it doesn't mean anything either.
There is no basis for it.
You can't flip over the chessboard and say that you won.
Heck yeah, I will. And I'll do that all the time.
Why not?
Gender's
Look,
a thing. There's males and females, and then there's, other ones that are genetically messed up. But
just another
that's
okay,
the thing. I can point to the chromosome and say, look at this. I can't point to anything and say, this person's this. It's not genetically based on anything. It's not biologically
It is
based on
genetically
anything.
based on something. I'm Puerto Rican, right? I get thrown into the category of Mexican or Spanish or Hispanic all the time. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything to me because I'm Puerto Rican. I'm from a freaking little island. Do I expect everyone to know off the bat that I'm from Puerto Rico? No. That's fine. It's just another descriptor. This guy is Spanish. This guy is Mexican. This guy is Hispanic. That's fine. It works. It's a good enough fluid descriptor at the time so you can facilitate communication between the other person you're talking to describe me. It works. Now, if I'm with my freaking family and I have a white girlfriend, right? Oh gosh, sorry I used white. And she's there and she's like, oh, I've never, had rice and beans. And my mom's like, oh yeah, this is how Spanish people get down. There is some objective reality to that. Spanish people, Hispanic people, and Mexican people, that's how we throw down. We make rice and beans. It's not
It's true.
that big, but there is some practicality to it. Black people, is how we get that. It doesn't have. It's not this big, huge thing that you're making. This huge conspiracy.
The more we talk about it, the more those issues are going to arise.
No, there's nothing
We're just
wrong with that.
perpetuating the issue.
If I have a black friend and he's like, "Oh, this is how black people get down. We love our fried chicken."
That's how niggas get down.
There's nothing wrong with that. It does get down when you start saying you start categorizing people and saying, "Oh, all black people are thieves." Then yes, then you're perpetuating. You're perpetuating good and evil and bad. You're perpetuating qualities, giving them all objective qualities. But if you're saying, "Oh, black people like chicken. My family likes chicken. We're black." Generally, there's nothing wrong with that, man.
Everybody likes chicken,
Everybody likes fucking chicken.
but especially black people.
The majority, yes, the majority of black people, yeah.
Now we're talking about a culture again. This is completely different.
But you're not resolving anything by denying that race is a linguistic tool. The word itself is a linguistic tool, and that and I absolutely disagree with your conclusion that we should therefore not talk about it, because everyone who thinks it's a thing is talking about it.
Yeah, they're dumb.
Right, but you can't ignore a whole lot of stupid and expect it to get smart. That's dumb. That's
I'm with Eric on this one. You just got to fight it.
You can fight it, but fight it properly.
Why? What are you?
You can't fight it
by not participating in it.
You're not. You have a weird.
If I do participate in it, I'm going to call myself black.
You can't participate. You can't answer by letting it burn itself off. Like, yeah, if I just ignore this cancer here, it'll fix itself.
Actively fight it. It's stupid, and you point out the stupidity in it.
But do it in a way that people will understand. Don't do it in a way that's too absurd for people to do anything but immediately dismiss.
Mark, I have a question.
What?
Mark, what's the difference between sex and gender?
Oh, I don't know. But we probably don't need to segue into another arbitrary.
I was discussing that with Ace. Like, oh, I should ask him this.
What is the so-called academic distinction between the two nowadays? Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking your opinion. Like, what you think the difference between sex and gender is?
There's no difference.
Okay.
Oh man. You're not making any objective, like you're not applying this to anything objectively. You're just saying, you're just breaking it down to break it down. You're like in a weird TI rabbit hole.
I can't hear you.
I said you're in a weird TI rabbit hole because you're just breaking down the construct just to break down the construct. You're not applying it to anything. Yes, like if you apply,
Good TI.
what was that?
Good TI.
You're just breaking down the label, just breaking it down. It breaks it down. It's like if you want to apply this to an issue, or if you want to apply it to like some objective, like some outside thing besides just the label itself.
I'm not going to use a useless, meaningless term.
Race is not that big of a deal, and
because other people use it. Just because it's a bandwagon fallacy. I'm not gonna apply that.
Mark,
there's ways that we apply.
Mark, if your objective is to correct the terminology or the discussion tone, there's no way you can tell me that ignoring the current status quo is going to solve that.
You fight it. You don't just ignore it.
How do you fight it?
You point it out. You argue with them.
Do you do it by making the most dramatic example possible and letting other people think for themselves? Because that's what got us here in the first place.
Yeah, you should make a dramatic point. And they're going to be like, well, that's not true. Let them argue their way out of that. They can't.
I'm doing it for them, and I don't even agree with them.
Wait, what?
I'm out. Kato and I are both stronger arguments than you, and I don't think either of us agree with them ultimately as a viewpoint.
What's your argument?
My argument is that you have very little to no effectiveness at instituting any sort of change by either ignoring it or by fighting it in an absurd and not FE soluble way.
So what do we do?
Discuss it so that people can in terms that people will understand, because you can't assume that people will think for themselves, because obviously they won't. Most people.
Well, it's their fault.
Yeah, but you're trying to change their behavior. You can't say that their thoughts don't matter if you got a problem with their behavior.
It's your job to point out the fallibility of it, and then they're supposed to come to the conclusion.
That's what I'm doing right now with you.
I don't even get what you're pointing out.
What are you doing?
I'm pointing out that your ultimate objective of fixing this dialogue into it not being a problematic one like it is now is not effective. It's self-sabotaging, because people are either going to write you off as a nutcase or call you racist yourself, or you're going to ignore it and then nothing happens.
I'm fine with all those things. That's totally fine.
What is it you're not fine with then? The inaccuracy of a specific term, absent of any of the meaning of it?
Exactly.
Yeah. It shouldn't have any meaning.
You're mad at the construct, but
people give it meaning,
not the problem.
and it shouldn't have any.
But so the way to take it away the meaning is to explain it's not meaning. You can't. Some things you got to just push over. You don't have to smash through it.
I use the word race very often. and ethnicity.
Well, that's what I'm trying to ask you, Taylor. Is how do you walk your way through it and not push it over?
Well, I think that it's an issue with the way it's used. I don't think that you should fight the term at all. I think that what you should do is point out that whenever someone is blamed for being racist, they're not actually demonstrating racism. Sometimes, like Donald Trump, in 30 years, the only time I ever heard him called racist was when he ran against a Democrat. I mean, that's
and that was my point. There's
You
very
point
few
out-
people that think they're genetically or biologically superior to another person.
So then whenever you hear a claim of racism, you point out that it's not racist at all.
Right, and that's what I was saying earlier before you walked in.
But you have to do that by addressing the issue. You can't do that by going, it's not racist, because racism is not a thing.
It's not racist because very few people think they're biologically or genetically superior to another person, which is what racism is.
Right, I understand.
And so if you can give an example of Donald Trump saying he's biologically and genetically superior to another person, well, then he's racist. But until you can prove that and do that, you're wrong.
You're being
Burden of proof is not on me.
You're being contradictory now.
You're saying somebody's racist. That's a claim you're making, and you have to back that up.
Okay, you're being contradictory now.
In theory, but we're dealing with social norm. So since you're going against the grain, you're going to have more than your rational share of burden of proof. So I ask,
it's not my claim that I'm making. I'm calling BS on the other person.
And the logic that you're presenting, and I'm telling you, your logic is sound, but it doesn't apply to the situation that you're trying to put it into because it's not a logical one; it's an emotional and social one.
You should apply logic to it anyway.
But people fucking don't. You're dealing with people already who are operating out of a less logical framework for whatever reason than you are, just by the fact that you're having the conversation with them at all.
I mean, I agree with you, but I don't think that you should therefore stop operating with that framework or on that framework.
You
Why would
don't
I
like
ditch it, and then why would I use emotional arguments or pathos or something to get them to respond appropriately?
You don't. You can get, if you want to change, do you want to change someone's mind or do you want to beat them with the logic stick because it feels good? Because they're two different things. You can berate someone all day long with the logic stick and have a great time, and they're not going to change at all. You're not changing shit. You're just being self-indulgent. That's all there is to it. It's fine. I do it sometimes too. But if you want to change someone's viewpoint, the best and most effective way to do it is to get them to get there on their own. So one example is if someone says profit is bad or corporations are bad, you say, okay, well, do you think that employees should get raises? Yeah. Well, where would that raise come from if the company didn't make any profit? Yeah, you let them you give them a problem and let them create solutions until they come to a solution that is, well, you protect people from losing everything they own in a bad investment by forming a corporation to protect themselves. And people will get there if you feed them logical problems and solutions and walk them to the end point. If they come up with the solution themselves, it doesn't feel combative, and then it'll stick.
Sure. Yeah.
But if you want to beat them with the logic stick, which I have no problem with, don't lie to yourself and say that you're doing a good deed. You're not. You're just being self-indulgent, which is fine.
Either way, you're beating them with the logic stick.
But you're not instituting any change. If anything, you're just making people, you're giving them animosity towards it.
You're giving him the wrong way. All they're gonna do is face it with. They're just gonna fight you back and reinstate what they already know.
They're gonna dig in, and they're not gonna agree with you based on you being a douchebag.
Yeah, like that's what we've been trying to say. Like we agree with
If
you.
they don't want to play along and they just want to ignore what I'm saying, that's fine. And that's their prerogative. That's not mine.
You can't get mad. Then you can't get mad when it happens.
I absolutely should get mad at that. It's ridiculous.
You're responding emotionally, but just because your emotions are founded in your understanding of logic, which is more logical than most people's, doesn't mean that it's logical. Because you're expecting your level of analysis out of everybody, and you're responding emotionally to it when they don't perform that. It's illogical to assume that everyone is going to analyze or even can analyze things the same way that you can.
You
Check
want
me.
everyone to analyze it the same way as
I mean,
you.
I agree with you. You can walk them towards it. I mean, if I'm asking for them to give an example of so and so and they can't do it, well, then that's them walking towards nothing. They can't
Now, when
prove
you
their
should get
point.
the point at which you should get mad is when somebody knows and understands the logic and still doesn't care. But you haven't reached that point yet at all.
They should know that. They should know the term they're using.
What are we even fighting about again?
We just went down a big.
If you're going to be
sky
using a
rabbit.
term, we have to first decide on what that term means.
Everyone
What,
knows
race
what that means.
or racist?
Racism.
People on a surface level, there's a surface level meaning to race. Now, if you're going like I said,
What is
like,
racism?
Can I finish?
We've been through what it is technically.
Racism is generalizing
But,
a group.
If you can't
Oh,
do
listen.
that, then what's the point of talking about it?
Listen to the meaning of what I'm saying. Don't interrupt me. So, what I'm saying is there is a surface meaning. How shallow it is, there is a base. This is a multi-dimensional thing. So on the base surface, people say, okay, race is a thing, black, white, brown, yellow, whatever. And there is a certain meaning because we across the board, socioculturally, all agree that yes, there are some distinctive categories that you can put different people in. Now, the basis on which we use that is sometimes fucked up and retarded. Now, when we're going to, what you're doing is going to a deeper level. You're trying to go, you're attacking people on the deepest level. Like, what is race? It's like, what is life? You're going way too deep, way too fast, bro. Like, you just need to fucking just go at it on a gentle level. You're kind of deconstruct the whole thing without alleviating any sort of like, I'm using words I don't even freaking know, but I don't know, you're going way too deep and you're not having any leeway. You're not admitting to any of the surface level practicality of it. There is some practicality on the surface level. There is some meaning across the board, social culture.
And
now it's
we can't just
It's
assume that both of us agree on what that surface meaning is. We have to describe what it is.
We have to assume some standards to even be able to function at all in any TE method ever. Otherwise, we're going to have to open every attempt to do something by hammering down all the terms. Have you ever read a legal transaction?
Well, certainly if we're talking about racism, I don't think defining racism is doing that. I mean, that's a legitimate thing to do.
You're talking about two different things. We're talking about race and racism. Racism, I get you. It's not really that. Most people are not racist. Racism is a term that's used it's just thrown around.
Well,
It's like thrown around like love, and it's thrown around like all this other shit. It's thrown around. People don't really understand the meaning of it. Race it's totally separate. Race on a subsurface level, I mean, does have some practicality as far as communicating and as far as describing. That's all I'm saying. Beyond that, I agree with you. Beyond describing and beyond just facilitating fluidity between two people so we can get understanding, we can be able to describe people on a very base level, then after that, it's really stupid to go any deeper than that. I agree. That's all I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing that.
Well, yeah,
it's
we
stupid.
agreed upon that. We agreed that we can describe people based upon physical characteristics.
Yes.
I did not
And that's all
grant
I'm
that
saying.
means I'm putting you in a group called race, and I'm acknowledging that race is a thing.
That I don't care. That's fine. So if you call me a brown man, I don't care. But as long as you're not going any deeper than that, if you're just saying I'm a brown man, I don't care. It doesn't mean like, oh man, he's categorizing me and he's going deep down into this blah blah blah. No, it just means you're describing me, and I'm cool with that. That's fine. That's all I'm saying.
Right, and that's what we agreed upon.
Yeah, so why are you going any deeper than that? That's all I'm saying. It's okay to do it surface level, and after that, who cares? You don't have to freaking go down a rabbit hole and say why it's wrong or right or wrong. It's just a simple term.
Then we're going further on. I'm talking about racism, which is acknowledging that the groups of race mean something and have further meaning than what we're saying that it has. That's what it means.
It is currently accepted that they mean something. You cannot ignore something that is that prevalent and have it reverse itself. It will not happen.
Is it?
People say it means something. It doesn't mean anything independently of the person.
You can, okay, as far as racism, yes, okay, that's really thrown, but you can derive prejudice. Prejudice is very real, and that happens all the time off of shit that's not even about skin color. I don't like this. I don't like this school. I don't like this gang because of this color. Prejudice is very real, and that's gonna be prominent across the board. Anything on shit that's even way smaller than skin color. And
You're breaking up now. As soon as like 11 people get in the room, like everybody starts breaking up, and plus you're quiet, so like I really can't do it.
I can hear. I can
you
hear
hear me?
fine.
Can you hear me?
I
know
can hear
you
you
can hear
fine.
me, but like my phone, it just starts making everybody choppy at this point.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
I
can you hear
can
me?
hear Cuddle. I can hear Cuddle fine. I can.
I know it's just me.
I was gonna say that I classify racism as prejudice at all against other race from another race. So like, if a black person blamed white,
Everybody's breaking up. I can't hear you either. Like it's just
Oh,
everybody. Like once there's 11 or 12 people, like I can't hear anybody.
cock.
It doesn't matter if I refresh either. It just does it.
You don't have a phone?
I've tried to fix this issue. I just need to get a mic and a camera for my computer, and that's what I need to do.
You don't know how to distinguish between racism and prejudice. Prejudice is always going to be there, and prejudice happens over stupid shit, even freaking way more molecular than freaking race. It goes so stupid as far as schools, gangs, colors, where family you're from, what side of town you're from, freaking what kind of, if you like pineapples on your pizza, and that's
Sexual
prevalent.
orientation.
Right.
That's never,
It's a very broad term, and I acknowledge that.
that's
Familiarity,
never going away.
familiarity is directly correlated with comfort level for very logical reasons. Now, if you just understand that basic premise that when people understand something, they understand the dangers and the benefits to it, they're going to be more comfortable with it than this unknown. People are always going to assimilate to groups that look right off the bat more like them, because that's the first sensory impression you have is vision.
Okay, but we still haven't. Still doesn't mean race exists. It means people look different and people look similar.
What I do care about is having someone who I agree with out there making a douchebag of me in my position because he doesn't understand FE. You make the rest of us look dumb by
You're
like that.
You're breaking up too. Sorry.
God damn it.
I really wish I could talk.
Who's the person with the is empty screen with the chair? They're not here. They have no purpose.
God damn it. Mark, you're the only blankie. No, you're not. Who's the other blankie? God damn it.
It's just, I mean, man, this is a hard one. I feel like you're just not understanding this, man. Like you're
Hey, someone
debating.
dip out for a second because I want Mark to hear this. Thank you. Did you hear what I was saying about why it matters that you stop fighting a stupid battle?
Here, let me rejoin.
He's stuck on this weird loop where it's like,
Okay, I've locked the room for now. It matters that you get what I'm saying, because when you're doing things like you're doing, it's not constructive to the conversation that you're trying to have ultimately. And since I agree with you on the ultimate points, I have an interest in you not making my position be dismissed because
It's so bad, Taylor. You can just open the room. I don't know what it is. I gotta go anyway. I gotta go to Bible study.
shit.
But I'll be on later, and hopefully that can work then. Maybe I'll stop by Walmart later tonight, and I'll pick up a mic.
See ya. Mark almost has like an eye sort of approach to everything.
He's got it's an F blockage.
Yeah,
His FE, his TI is fighting against FE.
yeah.
Is that the top of Eric's head?
Yeah.
Yep, it just turned towards the camera.
Yeah. I was like that for a while, man.